Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another soccer game review. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the U.S. Women's National Team taking on Mexico for Game 2 of the Olympic Send-Off Series. So, in the Olympic Send-Off Series, the U.S. Women's National Team had to play Mexico twice. And I'll leave a link in the description below if you would like to see the video I did on the first game. Now, I'm going to be talking about the second game. Before we begin, or before I get into it, I have some soccer news because over last week and over this weekend, a lot has happened in the soccer world. So a lot of you may have already know this, but Lionel Messi is now a free agent as of last week. His contract with Barcelona has expired. It's still unknown where Messi will be headed to. I've seen reports of Barcelona trying to come up with a new contract, but over the weekend I heard that PSG is throwing their hat into the ring and trying to get Messi to play for them. Honestly, I think it's going to be whoever offers the most in terms of money, but who knows? I've also read an article, I can't really remember where I found it, saying that some members on the Barcelona squad are refusing to take pay cuts in order to keep Messi, which that's pretty fair. As for the Euros, I have been following the Euros. I haven't really been reporting on them, but I have been watching the Euros. Italy and Spain are going to be playing against each other in the semifinals, and England and Denmark are also going to be playing against one another in the semifinals. I did see the game on Saturday where England took on the Ukraine, and honestly, England just blew them out of the water, which was awesome. Well done to England. Honestly, I would love to see England win it all, but Denmark, yeah, that would be awesome too if they won it all, too. Both England and Denmark have done so well in the Euros, and I think it's great that both of these teams made it this far. Good luck to Denmark and England. I will root on whoever wins the England or Denmark match. In other news, Orlando Pride lost 2-0 to North Carolina Courage. Get your crap together, Orlando. And now, on to the U.S. Women's National Team against Mexico. So let's look at the lineup. Let me just pull this up. So the lineup. Pretty standard. We have Alyssa Nair as the goalkeeper. The defensive line, we have Crystal Dunn, Becky Sauerbrunn, Abby Dalkemper, and Kelly O'Hara. For midfield, we have Samantha Mewis, Lindsay Horan, and Rose Lavelle. And for forwards, we have Kristen Press, Carly Lloyd, and Tobin Heath. Awesome. So, yeah, pretty standard. There are a few changes from the last lineup against Mexico. No changes to the defensive line, or the starting defensive line, but then again, the defensive line is pretty strong already. I am assuming that Tierna Davidson and Emily Sonnet might come in during the second half. For the midfield, Rose Lavelle is starting instead of Christy Mewis. She is probably going to come in as well. Going to forwards, Kristen Press, Carly Lloyd, and Tobin Heath. Yeah, this is some really, really strong goal scoring energy, hopefully. It's great that Tobin is starting because now we get to see, I thought it was great that Tobin was starting because we get to see her play. In the last game against Mexico, she was in for I think 20 minutes in the second half and scored an awesome goal from distance during those 20-something minutes. In this first half, we will get to see how she's playing. So, on to the first half of this game. So, one of the announcers said that the U.S. Women's National Team was instructed to play as if they were a goal down. Aggressive play early on from the U.S. U.S. is maintaining very strong possession early on, which is, I guess, something that's important if you are playing a goal down. Alyssa Nair makes the first save of the game. Great save against Stephanie Mayor. I also noted that this was a very fast-paced game and it was very hard to follow and take notes. I did keep saying that I love the aggressiveness from the US in this half, but I would say for the first half the defense needs to tighten up just a little bit because Stephanie Mayor, a very experienced forward, is plowing through. So 6 minutes in, we get a great goal from Lindsey Horan with an assist from Carly Lloyd. So the US is up 1-0. And I also said, now let's stop comparing Lindsey Horan to Julie Ertz. 11 minutes in, Carly Lloyd gets her goal with an assist from Crystal Dunn. Great header. So the US is up 2-0. This is just in the first 11 minutes. So we have 2 goals in the first 11 minutes. I told you, goal scoring energy. So this is going to be a controversial one. 11 minutes in, Kristen Press gets a goal, but it was ruled offsides. Honestly, when I saw the replay, it looked onside, but whatever. I guess she'll get another chance. Yeah, that was a frustrating one. I think a lot of people were upset afterwards that Kristen Press's goal was denied. It was a great goal, to be honest. Tobin Heath goes down in the box. I thought it could have been a penalty. The announcers thought it could have been a penalty. Other people thought it could have been a penalty, but the ref thought different. The U.S. gets another corner after Tobin goes down again. This time outside, a little bit outside of the corner flag. Nothing comes from it. No surprise there. Something that I thought was cool and funny, this is just an observation. Something I thought was cool and funny was that you can hear the players on the field. And because of that, I was able to hear how annoyed and pissed off Tobin was getting. Tobin is such a chill player, such a chill person off the field, but man, she can get heated. I forgot how heated she gets in games if she's been fouled or if she believes she's been fouled. So after that first corner, the U.S. does get another corner, and nothing comes from it. So the U.S. is putting a lot of pressure on Mexico, which is great. I love it. Love how in control the U.S. is in this half. Love the strong possession. 37 minutes in, something weird kind of happens. Kristen Press doesn't really get her goal. After the Mexico goalkeeper blocks an attempt by Tobin, Kristen takes a shot, but it turned out to be an own goal by Mexico, courtesy of Reina Reyes. I think you would have to watch the video. It was just, yeah, it was a... Originally they gave it to Kristen, but then it was, I don't know, something happened and it turned out to be an own goal. So, I mean, cool, I guess. The U.S. is now up 3-0. So Tobin gets her goal in the 39th minute with an assist from Sam Mewis. U.S. is up 4-0 and ends the first half 4-0. Great. So my thoughts on the first half, wow. Like, what an exciting and intense first half. The first half was insane. I think I heard from the announcers that the team was supposed to play as if they were a goal down. And yeah, you can see it. This first half was crazy and intense. The U.S. was aggressive, dominant, and kept up a really strong possession and pace early on. And I think it threw off Mexico quite a bit. Stats-wise, the U.S. had 73% possession. I don't think Mexico was expecting the U.S. to come out as aggressive as they did. I mean, I wasn't expecting it either. And I'll be honest, it was hard to take notes and watch because of how fast-moving and fast-paced this game was. I like that the U.S. was putting a lot of pressure on Mexico and going forward to the Olympics. That's something that they need to keep doing. In terms of players, Tobin is looking really great so far. As I said, I forget how heated she can get in games, but honestly, it's great to see that energy and passion coming back to her. Especially since she hasn't played since, I think, since January, but she hasn't played with the nationals team since November of 2020. Kristen Press is looking good still. I thought she was onside for that goal in the 11th minute though. And yeah, I was kind of disappointed that it was disallowed. All right, now we're into the second half. We start off with some substitutions. Christy Mewis comes in for Rose Lavelle. Megan Rapinoe comes in for Tobin Heath. Alex Morgan comes in for Carly Lloyd. So strong U.S. possession once again going into the second half. More solid passing and pass accuracy in the first half, and going into the second half. I kind of forgot. I forgot to add that, so I just added this in here. Like, I think I said in the last video that I did that the U.S. needs to be more accurate with their passes, and it was great to see in this game that they were maintaining possession and had more pass accuracy. Okay, where was I? Alright, I feel as though the U.S. team is dialing it back just a little in the second half, which is fine because they are up by 4. Mexico, Reina Reyes gets a yellow card for dive on Christy Mewis. Yeah, that was an obvious yellow card. That was done out of frustration. And Reyes was the one that scored the own goal. Emily Sonnet and Macario come on for Crystal Dunn and Sam Mewis, respectively. In this half, okay, this is an interesting one. In this half, the U.S. was instructed to play like they were only up by 1 point / maintaining a 1-point lead. So, yeah. It's interesting that Vlatko, well, I'm sure like a lot of it's late. I'm sure a lot of teams train like that, like playing down one player, playing playing when you have a 1-point lead. So yeah, it's good that he's doing these scenarios because this does happen in soccer. Okay, where was I? Oh, Sana is looking good. Emily Sana is looking good, and the U.S. is doing well at getting the ball back after losing it. That's another small observation that I noticed. Tierna Davidson comes in for Lindsey Horan after a challenge by Mexico. I couldn't see what player it was, but it was probably good to pull Lindsey off because the U.S. can't risk any serious injuries right now. And so the camera went to her briefly, and she was able to put ice on, like she was able to ice her knee. So the U.S. is doing a 5-4-1 play, so more defensive, which is fine for that scenario Vlatko wanted to do with them. I did write that Macario, when she came on, I think she does need to be a little bit more aggressive. She needs to stop backing down from challenges. Alright, so that's about all I have for the second half. I didn't really take that many notes on it. So, yeah, I did say this. The second half kind of slowed down a little bit, but it was still good. The U.S. kept a very strong possession in this half, which, given the scenario of playing like you're up by 1, yeah, maintaining control and possession is important, especially if the team is only up by 1. Alright, final notes. Overall, this was an exciting game and performance by the U.S., especially in the first half. Very fast-paced early on in the first half, but more dialed down in the second half, which is fine given the lead that the U.S. has. Yes, the second half was a little slow, but that's to be expected, especially with the lead. You don't want to make any risky plays, especially when you have a lead. you want to maintain the lead, which is what the US was doing in the second half and what the US was instructed to do. Play as if they were only up by 1. So I like this game. The US in total had 71% possession compared to Mexico's 29%. Very exciting send-off and dominant performance by the US. So great game. And for my final notes, also want to add that Julie Ertz, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Julie Ertz. I was wondering what this was. Also want to add that Julie Ertz is playing and training with the team, so it's going to be interesting to see how she does in the Olympics. Lindsey Horan has been doing really well in Julie Ertz's position. I'll be honest, the fact that Lindsey was constantly getting compared to Julie Ertz in the summer series and in the Olympics send-off series was frustrating. Lindsey Horan, I think, is doing great, and she did well in the summer series and in the send-off series. She has proven that she can be in Julie Ertz's spot. I kind of just rolled my eyes when I kept hearing how much the announcers and commentators were criticizing Lindsey Horan. Honestly, who would they have wanted in Julie Ertz's spot? Like, if Lindsey couldn't do it. Like, if not Lindsey, I would have gone with Andy Sullivan, maybe even Christy Mewis, because I feel like Christy Mewis can be aggressive. Like, she can be more of a forward, but she can also be very defensive. So, yeah, I guess that would be interesting to see Christy Mewis in Julie Ertz's spot. But besides that, Lindsey Horan is just fine, and yeah, rant over. So I'm gonna end this here. I will be doing game reviews for the Olympics. I'm kind of realizing now the time difference between Florida and Tokyo. So yeah, I'll be up early watching the games, especially the one against Sweden at 4 o'clock in the morning, so you don't have to. But if you want to get up, that would be cool too. In the next couple of days, I'm also going to be talking about the group that the US is in with New Zealand, Australia, and Sweden. It's not quite the group of death, but I think it'll be interesting to discuss those teams, because even though it's not exactly the group of death, it's not an easy group to be in. And something to note is the US had lost to Sweden in the 2016 Olympics, and in a friendly against Sweden, they tied. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.